Imagine that your hand hides an ancient secret, a sign that connects you to a millennia-old mystery. Now look closely at your palm. Do you see an M formed by the lines? If so, get ready. Some traditions say that this symbol is not there by chance. From ancient prophecies to modern accounts, this mark has fascinated astrologers, spiritual masters, and even scholars of human behavior. But after all, what does this riddle carved on the skin mean? Could it be just a random alignment of lines, or a cosmic signature indicating a special destiny? The prophet Nostradamus, famous for his predictions about the future of humanity, is said to have mentioned a group of people marked with a distinct sign on their hands. He suggested that these individuals would play a fundamental role in times of great transformation. And it's not just the prophecies that fuel this mystery. Mystics claim that this mark indicates a powerful intuition, a call to leadership, and even a connection with forces beyond common understanding. But is this just superstition? Or is there something deeper behind this mark? If you have ever felt that you were born for something greater, perhaps this is the moment to find out why. Welcome to the fascinating mystery of the M brand in the palm of your hand. Stay with us until the end, because what you discover today might change your view on your own destiny. The prophecy of Nostradamus and the hidden meaning of the M mark. Since ancient times, signs and symbols on hands have fascinated humanity. Many cultures believed that marks on the skin were hidden messages, guiding people to a greater purpose. But among all of them, the mysterious letter M stands out as an enigma that transcends civilizations and historical periods. The first mention of this symbol may be linked to the prophecies of Michel de Nostradamus, the 16th century French seer whose predictions defy time. In his works, written between 1555 and 1566, Nostradamus described a group of special individuals who would play a crucial role during times of great changes in humanity. Although his words were enigmatic, scholars believe he was referring to physical signs that would identify these individuals, and the M mark could be one of those pieces of evidence. Nostradamus himself lived in a time marked by profound transformations. 16th century Europe was a backdrop of religious conflicts, plague, and scientific discoveries that changed the understanding of the world. It was in this context that his prophecies emerged, many of them associated with wars, revolutions, and cosmic events, such as eclipses and planetary alignments. Some researchers suggest that he saw patterns not only in the sky, but also in human beings themselves, believing that certain individuals possessed unique characteristics that destined them for a role of leadership and transformation. Over the centuries, different esoteric traditions have come to associate the M mark on the palm of the hand with a kind of cosmic signature. Scholars of palmistry, the art of reading hands, observe that this mark forms at the intersection point of three main lines: the headline, the heartline, and the lifeline. This convergence suggests a balance between reason, emotion, and vitality, characteristics often associated with visionary leaders and people with a keen sensitivity. But did Nostradamus really refer to this specific brand? Although his predictions were intentionally written vaguely to avoid persecution, some modern interpretations believe he described a time when the marked would rise to guide humanity in moments of uncertainty. Many of Nostradamus's followers point to historical events that could be linked to his prophecies, such as the French Revolution, 1789, and the Industrial Revolution, 1760-1840, periods of great social and political transformations. The theory suggests that during these times, individuals with exceptional abilities emerged to challenge the system and lead significant changes, exactly as the seer predicted. Even today, the mystery continues. Could the M mark be a remnant of that ancient prophecy, or just a natural alignment of the lines on the hand? For some, this question goes beyond the physical. It is a call for introspection and self-knowledge. If you have this mark, it might be time to look at it not as a mere coincidence, but as an invitation to discover your true mission. In the next segment, we will explore the connection between this brand and the number 13, a symbol surrounded by myths, mysteries, and hidden meanings. The connection between brand M and the number 13, destiny or coincidence. The number 13 is surrounded by an aura of mystery. Many people associate it with bad luck, while others see it as a symbol of renewal and transformation. But what does this number have to do with the M mark on the palm of the hand? The relationship between the two can reveal an even deeper meaning than we imagine. Throughout history, the number 13 has repeatedly appeared in events and spiritual beliefs. In Christian tradition, for example, it was the number of participants at the Last Supper, with Judas being the 13th at the table. This detail helped build the negative reputation of the number in the West. But in other cultures, such as in esoteric numerology, the number 13 is a sign of cycles, new beginnings, and evolution. In ancient Egypt, priests taught that the soul went through 12 stages of learning, and in the 13th, it achieved spiritual immortality. In the tarot, the 13th card represents death, not in the literal sense, but as a process of end and rebirth, transition and transformation. For scholars of spirituality, this number symbolizes the end of an era and the birth of something new. But how does this connect to the brand M in the palm of the hand? Mystics and palmistry scholars claim that the presence of the M indicates intuitive, sensitive people with a strong sense of mission. Curiously, if we analyze the geometry of the letter M, we will see that it contains 4 main lines, and if we add the ends of each one, we arrive at the number 13. This led many traditions to associate this mark with the same concept of transformation, overcoming challenges and spiritual growth. Moreover, the number 13 is directly linked to the rhythm of the cosmos. In the lunar calendar, there are 13 lunar cycles in a year, and in various ancestral cultures, this number represented harmony with the natural movements of the earth. Among the Mayans, the Tzolk'in, a sacred calendar used to predict cosmic and spiritual events, was based on 13-day cycles, which reinforces its importance within ancient beliefs. For this reason, many traditions consider that those who bear the M mark are spiritually attuned to the cycles of renewal and change. They are people who frequently undergo great transformations throughout life and face challenges that serve to shape their growth. Just as the number 13 symbolizes the transition from one stage to another, the letter M can represent a journey of continuous learning where difficulties serve as gateways to a higher level of wisdom. But what does this mean for those who carry this symbol? Is it just a coincidence or an indication that these people are destined to overcome challenges and influence changes around them? Stories and accounts of people with the M mark, what can we learn from real experiences? Over the centuries, many people have reported remarkable experiences associated with the M mark on the palm of their hand. For some, this mark was a symbol of transformation. For others, a guide that helped them better understand their abilities and purpose. But is there a pattern among those who have this mark? What can we learn from their stories? Several ancient cultures mentioned individuals with distinct signs on their hands, often related to leadership, intuitive sensitivity, and great adaptability. However, modern accounts show that the presence of this mark goes beyond esoteric tradition, influencing aspects of practical and emotional life. One of the most common accounts among people with this mark is the feeling of being different since childhood. Many of them report that from an early age they had a strong perception of the world around them, picking up on emotions and situations before they became evident to others. In some cases, this manifested as a protective instinct towards friends and family, a desire to advise and offer support, even without fully understanding where this inclination came from. Another notable pattern among the accounts is the attraction to paths that involve knowledge and spirituality. Many claim that they have always sought deeper answers about existence and felt a calling to understand topics such as philosophy, metaphysics, and meditative practices. Intuition seems to be a strong trait among those who bear this mark, allowing them to make decisions based on a perception that often challenges conventional logic. Moreover, people with the M mark frequently face periods of drastic changes in their lives. In various stories, individuals recount that they went through moments of crisis that, despite being difficult, led to significant growth. As if this mark represented a path of continuous learning, where challenges arise to awaken new skills and understanding about oneself. But not all the accounts are about difficulties. Many describe the M brand as a symbol of self-confidence and personal power. At certain moments, these people felt an internal urge to follow an unusual path, trusting their own instinct even when everything pointed in the opposite direction. The most curious thing is that in most cases, this intuitive choice turned out to be the most accurate. If there is something in common between these stories, it is the idea that the M mark is not just a physical sign, but an invitation to the journey of self-discovery. Those who possess it report that when they learn to trust their intuition and accept their uniqueness, they are able to align their lives with a greater purpose. The connection between brand M and solar eclipses, the portal to transformation. For centuries, solar eclipses have been seen as moments of change and mystery. Ancient civilizations saw these events as divine signs, omens of profound transformations in the world and in people's lives. But is there a relationship between eclipses and the M mark on the palm of the hand? For many spiritualists, the answer is yes. Eclipses occur when the moon perfectly aligns between the Earth and the Sun, momentarily obscuring sunlight. This phenomenon not only impacts the planet on an astronomical level, but is also considered a moment of strong spiritual energy. Many traditions believe that during an eclipse, energy portals open, allowing for greater inner clarity and important revelations. Curiously, people with the M mark often report moments of great change during eclipses, whether they are solar or lunar. In various cultures, it is believed that these individuals possess heightened energetic sensitivity, which makes them more prone to feeling the effects of these cosmic events. In Buddhism, eclipses are seen as ideal moments for the practice of meditation and introspection as the mind becomes more receptive to deep wisdom. In other traditions, such as Hinduism, these periods are considered moments of karmic purification, in which old cycles come to an end and new opportunities emerge. The relationship between the M on the palm of the hand and eclipses may be linked to the way these events influence our perception, intuition, and destiny. Many people who have this mark say they feel a greater clarity during these periods, as if they have access to deeper insights about their lives and important decisions. Another interesting connection is that in some esoteric schools, the M is considered a symbol of transformation and rebirth, exactly what eclipses represent in the spiritual realm. The temporary darkness of the sun is seen as a metaphor for the moments of doubt and uncertainty that precede great changes and internal revelations. If the M mark truly indicates a connection with universal cycles, then it makes sense that eclipses are key moments for those who possess it. These periods can be an invitation to reflect on one's own path, re-evaluate choices, and align with a greater purpose. But does this sensitivity to the cosmos mean that these people have a special role to play in the world? The M brand as a call to leadership and spiritual awakening. Throughout history, certain individuals seem destined to play significant roles in the world. They are people who stand out for their sharp intuition, sense of justice, and ability to influence those around them. For many spiritualists, the presence of the M mark on the palm of the hand can be an indication that these people were born to lead and guide others in times of transformation. The concept of leadership here is not limited to the traditional idea of commanding groups or exercising authority. Instead, it is related to an inner calling to guide, inspire, and bring balance to the world. Many spiritual traditions point out that those who possess this mark demonstrate from an early age a strong sense of empathy, courage, and vision beyond the ordinary. This connection with spiritual leadership can also be explained by ancient beliefs about the geometry of the lines on the hand. According to Palmistry, the M is formed at the intersection of three fundamental paths: the heart line, representing emotions and compassion; the head line, symbolizing logic and intellect; the line of life, associated with energy and the purpose of existence. The intersection of these three forces creates a rare balance between reason, sensitivity, and action, essential qualities for those who assume positions of natural leadership. In Buddhism, there is a teaching that says the true leader is not the one who seeks control, but rather the one who brings wisdom and harmony where there is confusion. This principle fits perfectly with the idea that those who possess this mark are not destined for conventional power, but rather for a path of self-discovery and positive influence in the world. Many of the great spiritual leaders of humanity have demonstrated characteristics compatible with this idea. From masters like Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, to modern figures who transformed the world through compassion and knowledge, all possessed the ability to see beyond the obvious and guide others to a path of greater understanding. But what does this mean for those who bear this mark? The M on the palm of the hand can be an invitation to develop these skills, exploring one's intuition and recognizing one's role in the lives of those around. This does not necessarily mean that everyone with this mark will be great spiritual masters, but rather that they possess an innate potential to understand situations with greater depth and wisdom. In light of this call, the reflection that arises is, are those who bear the M mark willing to accept this responsibility? The M brand, as a path to self-knowledge and inner awakening. Far beyond a simple line on the palm, the M mark can be an invitation to explore the mysteries of the mind and spirit. In various traditions, symbols imprinted on the body are seen as signs of hidden purposes, indicating that those who possess them have a special potential to understand themselves and the world around them. But how does this mark relate to self-knowledge and inner awakening? Self-knowledge is one of the fundamental keys to a balanced and meaningful life. In Buddhism, for example, it is believed that true wisdom arises from the observation and understanding of our own essence. The M mark, being linked to intuition and emotional sensitivity, may indicate a greater predisposition for introspection and the search for answers beyond what is visible. People who possess this mark often report a sharper ability to perceive patterns, interpret emotions, and see connections that go unnoticed by others. This level of perception can be a reflection of a mind more connected to its own purpose and the subtle energies of the universe. Historically, many philosophers and spiritual leaders have emphasized the importance of inner exploration as a means of personal transformation. Socrates, one of the great thinkers of ancient Greece, advocated the famous maxim, "Know thyself." This principle aligns perfectly with the idea that the M brand can be a symbol of a call to look inward, reflect on one's own journey, and align with a path of continuous growth and learning. Moreover, inner awakening is linked to the ability to balance mind, body, and spirit. In practices such as meditation and mindfulness, being mindful of our thoughts and emotions helps us develop a greater awareness of who we truly are. For those who possess this mark, the development of these skills can be even more intense, allowing for profound insights into their life mission and the impact they can have on the world around them. But is self-knowledge something that arises naturally, or must it be cultivated throughout life? Great spiritual masters teach that the path to enlightenment does not happen all at once, but rather through constant practices of reflection, questioning, and personal evolution. If the M mark truly symbolizes this special connection with inner knowledge, then it is not just a sign, but also an invitation for those who possess it to delve deeper into the pursuit of understanding their purpose and their role in the universe. How to develop and strengthen intuition. The hidden power of brand M. Having the M mark on the palm of the hand can indicate a strong connection with intuition. But does this ability arise spontaneously, or does it need to be cultivated? Intuition is often described as a sixth sense, a perception that goes beyond logic and analytical reasoning. However, even those who are born with this aptitude can refine it to make it a true guide in everyday life. Since ancient times, spiritual masters and sages have emphasized that intuition is not a gift restricted to a few chosen ones, but rather a capacity that can be trained and expanded by anyone. In Buddhism, the practice of meditation and mindfulness is one of the most effective ways to develop this subtle perception. When the mind is silent, it becomes easier to identify signs, patterns, and messages that would normally go unnoticed. Another powerful method to strengthen intuition is the active listening to one's own feelings and bodily sensations. Often, our rational mind can ignore small internal alerts, but the body always reacts instinctively to certain situations. People who have the M mark often report having strong premonitions and a tendency to sense when something is about to happen. Moreover, contact with nature and the cycles of the universe can help expand this sensitivity. Many ancient traditions believed that those who had a deeper connection with the earth and natural elements were able to better interpret the signs of the environment around them. Spending more time outdoors, observing the stars, and paying attention to the subtle changes in the surroundings are practices that can strengthen this attunement. Another effective way to enhance this ability is through the use of intuitive writing. This exercise consists of jotting down spontaneous thoughts without judging or analyzing them. Over time, this practice can reveal hidden patterns and bring clarity to important decisions. Great inventors and artists of the past used this method to access deep insights, allowing their ideas to flow freely. But intuition is not just about predicting events. It is also a powerful tool for decision-making. Modern studies in neuroscience show that people who trust their instinctive perception often make faster and more effective choices, especially in high-pressure situations. This happens because the brain processes information subconsciously even before we can verbalize it. If the M brand truly symbolizes a greater connection with this internal perception, then those who possess it can benefit by honing their intuitive skills. In the end, intuition is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger and more reliable it becomes. How to use intuition in practical life, transforming sensitivity into action. Having a sharp intuition can be a powerful differentiator. But what good is this ability if it is not applied in daily life? Many people notice signs, have premonitions, and even feel when something is not right, but they ignore these sensations. The M mark on the palm of the hand can be an indication that your perception is naturally tuned to these subtle messages. But for this to be useful, it is essential to learn how to use this sensitivity in real life. One of the most effective ways to apply intuition is in the decision-making process. Frequently, we find ourselves faced with difficult choices, whether in professional life, relationships, or moments of change. Studies show that people who follow their intuition are able to decide more quickly and confidently. This happens because the brain stores information and experiences that we don't always access consciously, but that can manifest as a gut feeling or a sense of certainty about a particular path. Another fundamental aspect is self-knowledge. When we are connected with our deepest feelings, we can identify behavior patterns and better understand what does us good or harm. For those who bear the M mark, this connection can be even stronger, allowing them to notice details that escape most people. This can be a great advantage for avoiding negative situations, recognizing opportunities, and even understanding the intentions of those around. In the field of interpersonal relationships, intuition can also be a valuable guide. Often, we realize that something is not right in a conversation, even if the other person hasn't said anything openly. This type of subtle reading can help avoid conflicts, build more authentic connections, and better understand the emotions of those around us. Leaders and spiritual guides often rely on this ability to make decisions that impact many lives. Another way to use intuition in everyday life is through the development of creativity. Great artists, inventors, and writers report that their best ideas emerged from moments of spontaneous inspiration when they simply felt they were on the right path. Intuition can be a powerful ally in unlocking creative potential, allowing ideas to flow naturally and innovatively. But how to know when intuition is truly guiding you and when it is just a momentary fear or desire? The answer lies in the constant practice of inner listening. Exercises such as meditation, visualization, and reflective writing can help distinguish a true insight from an impulsive thought. The more we train this perception, the easier it becomes to recognize when an intuitive feeling is pointing to something important. If the M mark is indeed associated with this heightened sensitivity, then those who possess it can turn this characteristic into a great asset. Applying intuition in practical life does not mean relying on random premonitions, but rather using it as a tool to make decisions more aligned with one's own purpose. How to balance reason and intuition, the union between logic and instinct. Making decisions in life often requires a delicate balance between rationality and instinct. On one hand, we have logic, grounded in facts, analyses, and planning. On the other hand, intuition, that inner voice that guides us without a concrete explanation. But is it possible to align these two forces for a more harmonious life? The M mark on the palm has been associated with people who have sharp perception and a natural ability to see beyond the obvious. However, relying solely on intuition can lead to impulsive choices or those based on fleeting emotions. On the other hand, relying exclusively on reason can result in indecision and a lack of connection with one's own feelings. The key to finding this balance lies in learning when to listen to intuition and when to turn to logic. For example, in situations where there is time to evaluate all possibilities, analytical thinking can offer clarity and security. In moments where a decision needs to be made quickly and not all information is available, instinct can be the best guide. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a concept called the middle way, which teaches to avoid extremes and seek a state of balance in all areas of life. This principle can be applied to the way we make decisions, recognizing that rational mind and instinct can work together rather than being opposing forces. Another essential point for balancing logic and intuition is developing self-confidence. Many people ignore their inner perception for fear of making mistakes, but when we learn to trust ourselves more, we can make decisions that are more aligned with our purpose. This can be done through pattern observation, paying attention to situations where intuition was correct, and learning from those where more structured thinking was necessary. Moreover, techniques such as meditation, journaling, and visualization can help harmonize these two aspects. Meditating allows the mind to slow down, facilitating the connection with one's own thoughts. Writing about past experiences helps to recognize decision patterns. Visualization, on the other hand, helps in creating mental scenarios before acting, allowing reason and instinct to manifest together. If the M mark truly symbolizes a special connection with intuition, then those who possess it can harness this ability without neglecting the importance of rational analysis. The true power lies in knowing when to trust your instinct and when to seek evidence to support a choice. The M brand and the connection with the cycles of life, the hidden pattern of existence. Life follows a cyclical rhythm where each phase represents a new opportunity for learning and growth. From the seasons of the year to the movements of the universe, everything around us is in constant transformation. But what does that have to do with the M brand in the palm of your hand? Mystics and scholars of spirituality believe that this mark may be linked to a hidden pattern of personal evolution. Just as nature goes through phases of renewal, those who bear this mark may be more connected to the cycles of existence, going through periods of closure and rebirth throughout life. In the Buddhist tradition, impermanence is a central concept. Everything changes, everything transforms, and resisting this change can cause suffering. When we accept that each phase of life has a purpose, we can flow better with the natural transitions that arise along the way. If we look at ancient civilizations, we will see that many of them base their calendars and rituals on natural cycles. The Egyptians, for example, believed that life was composed of stages of evolution and spiritual rebirth was a continuous process. The Mayans saw time as a spiral, where events repeated on different scales. This view aligns with the idea that those who bear the M mark may feel this movement more intensely, experiencing significant changes throughout their lives. People with this mark often report undergoing significant transformations, moments of closing cycles, and new beginnings. Whether in relationships, careers, or inner growth, there is a pattern of new beginnings and learning. This can be interpreted as a sign of alignment with the energy of universal cycles, indicating that these individuals are in tune with a natural flow of renewal. Another interesting point is that the very geometry of the M brand reflects this concept. Its interconnected lines suggest a journey that is not linear but full of curves and intersections, similar to the phases we face throughout existence. But how can we apply this knowledge in practice? The answer lies in learning to accept changes as an essential part of the journey. Often, we cling to the past or fear the unknown, but understanding that life operates in cycles helps us see each phase as preparation for something greater. If the M brand truly represents this connection with the rhythms of life, then those who possess it can use this perception to navigate challenges with greater clarity and wisdom. Instead of fighting against transitions, they can embrace them as part of their own growth and evolution. The M brand as a call to help others, the role of compassion and service. Throughout history, some people have shown a genuine desire to help others, guided by a strong sense of purpose and empathy. Curiously, many believe that those who bear The M mark on the palm of their hand share this inclination towards service and compassion, as if this mark represented a call to contribute to the world around them. Helping others can take many forms. Some dedicate their lives to teaching, healing, or spiritual leadership, while others find purpose in small daily actions, such as listening attentively, offering support, or sharing knowledge. In Buddhism, the idea of active compassion is fundamental. Known as karuna, this philosophy teaches that true spiritual growth occurs when we use our wisdom to alleviate the suffering of others. Spiritual masters and philosophers have long asserted that service to others is one of the noblest paths to self-realization. Dalai Lama often speaks about the importance of cultivating kindness and empathy, highlighting that a compassionate heart not only transforms the outer world, but also brings balance and inner peace. The connection between brand M and the desire to help may be related to the intuition and emotional sensitivity of these people. They can feel the energy around them more intensely, sensing when someone needs support even without words. This level of perception can lead them to take on roles such as mentors, healers, spiritual guides, or simply people who offer comfort and guidance to those around them. In practice, channeling this vocation of service can happen in various ways. For some, it may mean dedicating themselves to humanitarian causes. For others, it may be the pursuit of a career that benefits society, such as education, medicine, or counseling. And even those who do not follow these paths can find ways to positively impact their communities, whether through acts of kindness, words of encouragement, or actions that strengthen bonds between people. But helping others does not mean forgetting about yourself. Often, those with a strong sense of compassion end up taking on too many responsibilities and neglecting their own well-being. The balance between serving and taking care of oneself is essential, as we can only offer the best to the world when we are aligned with our own energy. If the M brand truly symbolizes a call to serve, then it also brings a reminder. The greatest impact does not come from isolated grand gestures, but from the small daily actions that touch lives and leave a legacy of positivity. What does the M brand represent to you? Throughout this journey, we explored various meanings and interpretations of the M mark on the palm of the hand. From its possible connections with ancient prophecies, natural cycles, intuition, and life purpose, to accounts of people who feel a real impact of this mark on their journeys. But in the end, what does this mark really represent for you? If there is one thing that has become clear, it is that this mark is not a fixed destination, but a symbol of potential. For some, it may indicate a call to self-discovery and spiritual awakening. For others, it may simply be a reminder that intuition and instinct play a fundamental role in how we navigate through life. Each person has their own journey and meaning for this mark. The most important thing is not what traditions or beliefs say, but how you connect with this symbolism. If you feel that it reflects your personality, use this knowledge as a tool to enhance your perception, trust your sensitivity more, and align your choices with what truly resonates with your heart. Buddhism teaches us that true enlightenment comes from within. No external sign can define who you are, but it can serve as a mirror for you to see yourself more clearly. If this mark has any special meaning for you, it might be an invitation to observe yourself more closely, recognize your strengths, and develop your potential to the fullest. In the end, the M mark is not a label, but a portal for reflection and personal growth. If it is just a natural alignment of the lines on your hand or a sign of something greater, it is up to you to decide what it means for your life. Now we want to know, do you have this mark? How do you interpret its meaning? Share your experience and help expand this conversation. After all, the journey of self-discovery becomes even richer when we share our learnings with each other. Regardless of whether you have that mark or not, remember, your history, your choices, and your essence are what truly define your path.